What's one thing we did before the pandemic that even if the world went back to normal you wouldn't do again? Go to work sick. Seconding this. If I'm ill, I'm either working from home or calling in. No more of this powering through nonsense. I don't know where I adopted the values of never calling off sick. Maybe because I couldn't find a job for a long time when I was younger. Clearly my workplace does not care about me, and it comes down to me thinking I'm screwing over coworkers, but that should be a management problem and not yours. A few years ago I used to work at one of the highest rated restaurants in the world. Our director cut all our hours to 3 days a week. No one wanted this, as it wasn't enough to support ourselves. I asked for time off to see my nanny with brain cancer and was denied because a co-worker was talking time off. I put in a 3-week notice to take this time off, and despite another employee taking time off, everyone was still at 3 days a week. Needless to say, I quit. I'm not going to pass up what is most likely the last time I'll see her, so you can be anal about everyone working 3 days a week, a schedule that ducked over all of us and sent us looking for second jobs. I made the same call with my grandfather. The manager said everyone had to work New Year's Eve, but my ride wouldn't get me back until after that. It's been over 20 years and I made a very good call. When my grandfather was in the hospital dying of cancer, I got a call at work saying I should go see him right then if I wanted to at all. It was about 10 a.m. My boss said, "Go. Don't clock out. I'll clock you out at 5." For all her shortcomings as a boss, she didn't duck around when it came to work-life balance. Feeling bad about calling in. Getting hassled for calling in because you just have a cold. Or being expected to recover from a cold in one day. My work still does that. I've had a really bad cold for over 2 weeks and I've only been able to take a couple of those days off. My boss is currently in his office sick as hell, but he has a negative COVID test, so Hess here to tough it out. Edit, he called out sick today. Daily commute. Our company is committed to 3 days a week max in the office. I've been in twice since the pandemic and the colossal amount of wasted time really stunned me. It is very interesting to see how companies and cultures are different. I'm working with French and Germans. The French, in Paris, are back a minimum 3 days at the office, while the Germans have been so reluctant to return that the corporation is cutting office space due to lack of usage. Wow, I'd have assumed it would be the opposite. Never underestimate the power of efficiency when arguing with Germans. German here. Can confirm. Very efficient sentencing. Commute to work 1.5 hours each way 5 days a week so I can sit in my office and write emails and talk on the phone. The funny thing is my home internet is at least twice as fast as the office. Why go there for a worse experience? My home internet is great now that I've upgraded my router, but the work VPN I need to use is slow as shit. At least now I can stream music without being bogged down by terrible office Wi-Fi. Yeah, I loathe when I have to be on VPN. Luckily it's only an hour or 2 a day. I still want no contact delivery to be an option. Just delivery of my groceries in general instead of going to the supermarket is something I plan to keep. It's ducking convenient as hell. Some people can't pick produce for their life, but if that's all I have to go pick up myself, that's fine by me. I'm weird and actually really enjoy grocery shopping. Sometimes life gets in the way and delivery can be a real lifesaver. That's not weird. I miss grocery stores being open 24 hours. Shopping at 3 a.m. in very relaxed dad clothes with a few other night owls used to be my therapy. Now nothing is open past 11, so I have to put the costume on and do the dance. Breathe down people's ducking necks in the checkout lane. What magical place do you live in that this is no longer a regular occurrence? I'd like to live there also, lol. Yes, lol. The amount of times he'll turn around to leave the counter and he'll nearly bump into another customer. Treat my job title like it's my family name. Nah, I give you labor and you give me money, that's the extent of our relationship, and much like anyone trading time for money, others will pay me for my time. Not a chance I will ever again bleed, sweat or cry for a ducking employer. Never ever again. Standing ass to dicks in line. I love how everyone, at least in my area, just kept up with the social distancing when standing in line at the cashier. My grocery store set up signs so there was one long, socially distanced, line that fed all the cashiers. When they tried to switch back to the old model of a separate line for each cashier, the whole neighborhood silently agreed that was not going to happen and we prefer the one-line model. No more getting stuck behind someone with 70 coupons. Studies have shown that the single queue method is actually faster and more efficient for everyone. No one gets trapped behind an extreme coupon jerk and no clerk winds up with an empty line during peak traffic. Yeah, it's just a standard manifold setup. Makes the most sense for components, people, that sort themselves. Plenty of stores do it, but for some reason most groceries don't. Takes more space to queue up when it's busy and there's a good number of cashiers. I wish it were implemented everywhere, though. Having a non-stop out all day go schedule. I understand now why I was constantly feeling frustrated. I was completely burned out and had no me time. Now I don't make so many commitments to social events, work things, extra stuff, and I can't imagine ever stretching myself so thin again. For the life of me, I can't remember what seems so important. Hell yeah. So many people still feel that way. It makes me sad seeing people feel like they have to go constantly. Nobody just chills anymore. Bras with wires in them. I've already made that commitment. I absolutely despise regular bras with straps that get twisted and dig into my shoulders. Now I wear exclusively sports bras or strapless bras and I'm never going back. Bralettes are your friend. I think I'm just a little too big for bralettes. I want them to work, but it seems like whenever I try them the girls are always falling out and it's just not a comfortable experience. Still better than underwires from hell though. Bralettes allow my boobs to wander around on their own recognizance before just dumping one or both out at some well-chosen moment. Super uncomfortable. A well-fitted underwire is the only thing that calms my tits. It's going to take a lot of money to convince me not to work from home anymore. Right? Why do we need to sit in an office at work? I have an office at home. Don't these companies want to save money on their electric, water and leasing? What they've determined they really want is the ability to look over your shoulder from time to time and make sure you stay until exactly whatever time you get off. Which is silly because most people have figured out how to be on Reddit or Facebook without being caught while on the work computer. It does not care what you're doing, even if it's monitored. Can confirm. Currently on Reddit while mindlessly scrolling through my Revit model to make it appear as if I'm working. All my work is done. I just finished an on-site job, only one of the week. Most of my hours are spent on here. While I wait around for someone to need Trimble or some 3D modeling. Won't necessarily say never, but bowling while eating finger foods seems like a really bad idea now. My friend just posted a pic on FB of a dude buying a convenience store hot dog. Well, he had the unprotected hot dog placed on the counter while paying. Not even a little paper sleeve. Bun to counter. I don't understand humanity. That's like shitting with the toilet seat up. I honestly don't see the point in charging people to park at hospitals. I feel like people aren't coming here to have a grand old time. I personally don't go to hospitals for leisure. I think it's gross to charge people parking fees at hospitals when they're going through difficult times. Duck whoever thought of that shit. In addition to the other reasons supplied, if a hospital is in an area with other businesses nearby, charging for parking is a way to encourage the customers of restaurants, shops, etc. to not use hospital parking. The only hospital I've been to that charged for parking would validate tickets for patients so they parked for free, only non-patients had to pay. If a hospital is in an area with other businesses nearby, charging for parking is a way to encourage the customers of restaurants, shops, etc. to not use hospital parking. My so works in a hospital that is located next to a bunch of businesses and high-rises, and I'm sure a lot of other people would use the hospital parking if there was no charge. Parking is validated for patients and their families. The hospital employees also park in the structure, so charging for parking helps ensure that they're able to make it to work on time. I think this is one of those issues that seems cold heartless on the surface, but there are valid reasons for the policy when you really look into it. Where I live, the hospital's parking lot is a 5 minutes walk from the town center, with all the bars, restaurants, banks, bakeries, and small businesses. It's also free. My grandmother's doctor's is doing her consultation at the hospital. I've never been able to park there. And as I wait outside now for my grandmother to be done with her appointments, I can assure you, most people are not patients or visitor of the hospital.